Hey guys, tonight we're slipping into worn sandals and chasing camels across the Sahara as the sun dies. Imagine that last orange slice of daylight burning your retinas just enough to make you squint. You probably couldn't handle 6 minutes of this trek without begging for aloe vera and a Starbucks. Let's be real. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe. But only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. Drop a comment with your location and local time. I'll bet half of you are watching in pajama pants right now. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. The sun bleed golds the horizon. Molly's trading outpost exhales a dust cloud goodbye. You tighten frayed leather straps. Your sandals grip sand, still holding yesterday's heat. 17 camels snort ahead, their curved necks bowed like question marks. Salt sacks slump over humps, each one worth more here than your left kidney. A merchant barks at a porter, loading indigo cloth. You catch 3 words in Bambara before wind steals the rest. Historians still argue whether 14th century traders used ostrich eggshells as canteens. But your guide swears by his. The air smells like burnt cinnamon and donkey sweat. Your water skin sloshes, a tease of liquid. You'll ration harder than your ex's Netflix password. Dust devils twist in the distance, tiny tornadoes practicing their chaos. You step over a scarab beetle, hauling a dung ball twice its size. Respect. North isn't just a direction here, it's a verb. The Sahara yawns wide, a tawny void where GPS signals go to die. Your toe stubs a clay shard half buried in the sand. Could be 9th century pottery, could be last week's lunch plate. Nobody knows why certain desert wells glow green at midnight. Local teens dare each other to drink from them. You keep walking. A kid runs past, his tunic flapping like a broke kite. He's yelling about a sand cat spotted near the wadi. Your fingers brush the amber talisman around your neck, cheap tourist junk, but it calms you. 17 steps later, you regret not pocketing that date pastry from the market. Twilight purples the sky. The lead camel balks, its nostrils flare at something unseen. Caravan legends whisper of jinns, sculpting mirages from heat and regret. Your map crinkles, the inked trade routes blur under your thumb. 3 veiled women pass, their silver ankle bells chime secrets. Dusk becomes a living thing, bruised and breathing. You adjust your headscarf as grit licks your cheeks. The first star blinks awake, Anubis's diamond, or maybe just serious messing with you. Sand grinds between your teeth, delicious. A thorn bites your heel through the sandal sole. You spit a curse that startles a nearby goat. 15 miles today, 20 tomorrow. Your hips already ache like you've line danced through a cyclone. The outpost's last torches shrink into fireflies behind you. Your belt pouch holds 3 things: a dented compass, a wax-sealed letter, and a mint from 2005. Survival guides insist Desert nights freeze souls, they're half right. The cold creeps in, sharpening shadows into blade shapes. You fumble for a wool blanket buried in your pack. Camels huddle, their whines stitch the dark. Someone lights a lantern, the flame wobbles like a drunk firefly. 83 days to Timbuktu if the dunes behave, which they won't. You count salt sacks again, 94, or is it 95? Math melts here. A hyena whoops, its laughter stitches the void. The caravan master mutters a prayer to some long-dead saint. Your tongue tastes like a gym sock. Sleep tugs at your eyelids, but the sand waits. Always, the last amber streaks of sunset bleed into indigo, your sandals, still warm from the day's furnace-baked earth. Camels low like grumpy uncles, their humps bulging, with salt slabs wrapped in palm fiber. You cinch a stubborn strap, rough leather bites your palm, as a Berber trader barks orders into mazite. His silver earrings glint like falling stars against ink-black skin. Moonlight transforms the outpost into a ghostly workshop. Shadows stretch into long-fingered puppets, guiding your hands. You count 29 camels, an uneven number that makes your superstitious aunt's voice echo in your skull. Never pair even beasts with odd burdens. Too late now. The lead camel side-eyes you, its lashes fluttering with judgment. You've seen that look before. Your younger brother wore it when tasked with fetching water. A northerner's map unfurls in your hands, goat parchment, so thin it whispers secrets. The ink roots twist like mating snakes. Timbuktu marked by a tiny gold fleck. Historians still argue whether medieval cartographers intentionally distorted Saharan paths to confuse rivals. Your thumb rubs a vanished oasis, now just a stain where ink surrendered to time. Salt crunches underfoot, a sound like walking on shattered glass. Each block was worth its weight in gold, or so the merchant kings of Ghana claimed. You pocket a smaller chunk, emergency currency, if jackals raid the caravan. A Tuareg boy offers you dates stuffed with almonds, their sweetness clashing with the stink of camel dung. The moon climbs higher, silver light strips the color from everything. Your caravan master lights a lantern, its flame dances with the ghost of a moth. Camel hooves sink into sand, rhythmic thuds sync with your pulse. Ahead, the Sahara stretches, a frozen ocean where dunes replace waves. Someone hums a Songhai lullaby behind you. The melody curls like smoke from a dying fire. You blink, and for a heartbeat, the stars blur into Ghana's legendary golden constellations. Salt chafes against your lower back, each swaying step etches a new ache. A trader claims camels store moonlight in their humps, a myth so ridiculous you almost respect it. Your water skin sloshes, 3/4 full, rationed tighter than a miser's purse strings. A scout rides past, his indigo turban fades into a midnight smudge. The cold seeps into your bones, a desert surprise for those who think heat never dies. You fumble for a woolen shawl. Its threads smell of your mother's incense. 2 hours in, the dunes flatten into a dead man's playground. The caravan master spits. A white glob sinks into parched earth. Sandcats here, he growls, as if naming the danger tames it. You eye the salt sacks, suddenly aware how their pale gleam screams, "Plunder me" to bandits. A camel sneezes. Its mucus splatters your ankle. You grimace, then laugh a sharp bark that startles the stars. The North African wind answers, scattering your mirth across the dark like invisible coins. Somewhere ahead, unseen scorpions duel over a scrap of shade. Your map trembles in the breeze, a corner tears. You anchor it with your dagger. The blade's pommel bears a Coptic cross, traded for 3 rabbit skins. Moonlight reveals a half-faded note beside a dune labeled Elephant's Grave. No scholar alive agrees what that meant. Collapsed trade post, giant fossil. You trace the words, fingers lingering on the E by midnight. Your eyelids sag like overripe figs. The stars pivot. Old navigators claimed you could tell time by their slow pirouette. You count 7 shooting stars before losing track. Each one a bodiless merchant racing to close some celestial deal. The salt groans as camels adjust their loads, a creaking chorus of discomfort. You smell the metallic tang of imminent dawn, morning's first breath still hours away. Your shawl slips, cold nips your neck like a jealous lover. The map crinkles as you fold it, a sound like distant footsteps on dry leaves. No one mentions the missing guide who vanished at sunset. No one needs to. The camels know. Their mournful groans say what humans won't. You press onward, the Sahara's patient heartbeat throbbing beneath your soles. The North Star winks, a cold jewel pinned to heaven's cloak, your ancestors' compass. Caravan veterans say it aligns with the sacred baobab groves of Nyani, Mali's heart, yet your chilled fingers fumble with the brass astrolabe, a poor substitute for the Songhai star reader's bone needles. Historians still argue whether desert guides memorized constellations or whispered to spirits for bearings. For now, you trust the glittering arc of Ursa, major more than any map. Venus rises, an imposter sun mocking the dark. Your breath fogs, each exhale an ephemeral comet. A Tuareg herder once told you stars are campfires of long-dead traders. Their flames died, but light lingers. You half believe it. Those punctual pinpricks appear nightly, same as hunger and blistered feet. Ahead, the camel's shadow stretches, a fuzzy giant swallowing dunes. Its bell clangs a lazy rhythm, metallic yawns that echo into the void. Salt blocks creak, their song grumpier each hour. You swipe at sweat-salted lips, taste the iron tang of fatigue. Camel fur brushes your arm, coarse hairs snagging on wool like Velcro. Someone sneezes 3 camels back. The sound ripples through the caravan like a demented echo. Mali's old trade codes find travelers for sneezing during night marches, a quirk scribbled in Ibn Battuta's margin notes. You stifle a laugh. Imagine medieval judges weighing snotty testimony. The air thins. Cold pricks your lungs with each gasp. Star patterns blur. When did the Southern Cross escape your gaze? Your astrolabe needle trembles, accused of cowardice by the unwavering North. Experts think Ghanaian scouts used owl feathers to polish their navigation tools, a detail ignored by modern reenactors. You pluck a downy tuft from your sleeve, make a mental note to disappoint historians later. A meteor scratches the sky, its green tail mirrored in your watering eyes. Ancestors wink, murmurs the salt trader shuffling beside you. His teeth gleam unnaturally white, ground acacia bark paste, no doubt. You nod politely. The desert breeds strange certainties. Last week, a merchant swore scarabs bury celestial directions in their dung. The stars dim, you're suddenly aware how blackness pools between them like tar. Ahead, the caravan master halts, raises a hand crusted with henna. Silence crashes down, even the camels hold their breath. His finger points northwest, where 3 stars form a jagged tooth. Timbuktu's doorstep. He rasps a claim as reliable as mirage water. Legends claim the city's scholars could read fate in star patterns, their telescopes forged from meteorite iron. No use asking if it's true, the man's already striding forward, his shadow eating stars. You count 73 steps before someone coughs, the spell broken. Camel knees pop, old joints protesting the unending march. Your water skin sloshes, 2/3 depleted, though you swore not to check. A child's rhyme surfaces, unbidden from childhood. Starlight, starbane, guide me home past Scorpion's reign. The last word hisses, too sharply drawing glances. You mumble an apology to the dark. Saturn glows, amber ring invisible, but felt, a king's promise. Wind riffles your map, corner curling like a dried scorpion tail. That elephant's grave glyph still nags. What fool names a dune after ghosts? 13 paces later, your heel kicks a curved bone, ivory aged to stone. Could it be no? You kick it aside. Let some other fool play archaeologist. The Milky Way smears across the sky, cosmic spilled salt. Traders swear its brightness predicts next season's gold yield. Skymance's ledger, they call it. You squint, grading constellations like market produce. Ursa Major, passable. Orion, overdramatic as ever. Southern Fish, frankly unimpressive. A snort escapes you, earning a camel's indignant glare. Dawn's first blush creeps, a thief stealing stars one by one. Polaris fades last, a reluctant host ushering you into daylight's harsh truths. Your pupils contract, the world regains edges and flaws. The salt trader yawns, the stars lie less than men, he croaks. You nod, noting how daylight reveals the hole in his left sandal. Dawn's heat still clings to your heels when the sand begins its lie. A low hum prickles your eardrums like a beehive buried a mile down. You kneel, press your cheek to the dune, and feel vibrations older than Mali's empire. Salt traders called it the desert's breath, though you've heard dockhands in Alexandria blame underground rivers. The truth, granules sliding over each other trillions of microscopic collisions, singing an ancient scale. Historians still argue whether guides use the sound to navigate or just to terrify new recruits. Your camel snorts, dislodging a sand cascade that hums as it falls. A Berber folktale claims dunes memorize voices, repeating last words of the buried. You test it, whisper rotten dates into the slope. The wind answers with a wet gurgle, probably coincidence. Or maybe the ghost of that pickled onion vendor from Sigil Masa. Night deepens. The stars return as scattered salt on a black tablecloth. The hum swells, a chorus of a million quartz grains in friction's embrace. Your teeth ache with it. Merchants once spread rumors of desert sirens, said the dunes lured greedy men into dunes to drown. You smirk until your foot plunges knee-deep into powder finer than milled flour. Panic flares, then fades, as the sand releases you with a grudging slurp. The caravan master spits dates and bitterness. Walk light like you owe the sand money. You obey, treading on toes in a ridiculous tiptoe ballet. Someone giggles, the sound swallowed midair by the dune's hunger. A Tuareg scout once swore the singing peaks during Libra's dominance, something about cosmic balance. You check the stars' nope. Just Virgo's uptight sprawl. Ahead, a dune looms twice as high as others, its crest shimmering like grated moon. The hum sharpens, a dentist's drill, serenading a cracked molar. Your ears pop. Salt traders' lore says pharaohs imported Saharan singing sand for their tombs to scare off grave robbers. You doubt it. Egyptian bureaucrats hated extra paperwork. A wind surge sprays grit into your eyes. You blink through tears. The dunes now wail, a dissonant choir of sliding silica. Camel bells jangle off rhythm, the animals' eyes rolling white. There's science here, sure granules between 0, 1 and 0. 5 millimeters in size, slopes at 35 degrees. But science doesn't explain why your skin puckers, why the air tastes like burnt copper. You fumble for the wax earplugs bartered in Tadmeka. Too late, the dunes, song seeps into your skull, a nursery rhyme in no language. Hush-a-bye, my stolen child, the wind will keep you, the rest dissolves into static. Your tongue sticks to your palate, fear's glue, even the North Star blurs. Or is that just sweat? A hand clamps your shoulder, the caravan master's henned fingers digging. Never stop, he growls. Sand smells weakness. His robe flutters, revealing a scarred back mapped with old whip marks. You wonder if the dunes sang when they kissed those wounds. The peak's shadow devours the caravan, moonlight slicing its edges into razors. Humming crescendos, a rattle of beads in a god's fist. Then silence. The sand stills, so abruptly your knees buckle at the absence of noise. Your breath sounds obscenely loud. Somewhere ahead, a jackal howls. The dunes do not sing along. Someone vomits. The acidic stench jolts you alert. The salt trader lights a resin torch flame, trembling as if scared of the dark below. They're done, he murmurs, for tonight. You nod, pretending not to see his shaking hands. Dawn leaks across the horizon pale as watered milk. The dunes sleep now, innocent mounds in a toddler's sandbox. Resin, offers the trader, proffering a sticky lump. You decline, chase the lie of safety with a half sip of tepid water. The sand's song lingers, a tinnitus echo in your skull's hollows. Last night's terror softens into campfire yarn already. A merchant's son brags he dueled a dune spirit, claims he nicked its ear with a butter knife. You smile, but test every step. Sand shifts underfoot, patient. Always patient. The sun claws higher. Its glare turns your water skin into a limp goat's bladder. Each sip tastes of warm leather and regrets. You count swallows 12 since dawn, though memory blurs after the 7th. A Berber merchant once swore thirst amplifies time, makes hours yawn wide as the Sahara itself. You never believed him. Now, the sundial of your cracked lips begs to differ. The scout hisses through yellowed teeth, points at specks, swirling in the white sky. Vultures court death's doorstep, she says. Caravan lore claims they circle only where a man will fall within a day. Your tongue feels like a salted slug. Historians still argue whether failed crossings claimed more lives through thirst or the dysentery that followed spoiled wells, turning guts to water. You pray this isn't a test case. Someone unpacks a shriveled melon. Its pink flesh vanishes before your parched eyes can beg. Camel urine trickles into a tin cup down the line. You decline with a head shake, even as your kidneys whimper. A Tuareg elder once joked about drinking sky juice, condensation scraped from tent hides at dawn. The punchline. His audience died laughing. Shadows shrink, heat devours them like a starved jackal. Your turban sags under its own sweat. Traders whisper of salt caravans dissolving mid-stride, men becoming sand sculptures in polished boots. You blink, realize you're staring at a limestone outcrop shaped like a vomiting man. Delusion's first kiss. The vultures drift lower, black commas editing the sky's blank page. Their spiral tightens, debate flares, follow the carrion or flee its omen. Your mouth is too dry to spit superstition. Northwest, barks the scout. No one moves until she adds. Even vultures need water to piss. Sand grinds between your teeth, gritty reminder of last night's meal. A merchant's son trips, kicks up a ceramic shard. Carthaginian, maybe, or just a pot someone smashed in a hangry rage. You pocket it, edges sharp enough to slice pride or throats. 2 hours in the dunes flatten into a pan of cracked earth. A mummified gazelle lies splayed, hide stretched taut as a drum. The vultures ignore it. Too old, too polite. Your heart sinks, they're waiting for fresher meat. A camel collapses, knees folding like rotten chairs. Its owner slits the throat before the death rattle. Blood steams in the dust, a morbid tea ceremony. The scout cups her hands, drinks with closed eyes. You turn away, taste copper anyway. Rumors ripple. A boy claims he saw greenery reflected in a vulture's eye. The caravan master laughs, a sound like splintering bone. Mirages love the desperate, he says. They flirt. You check the birds. Their spiral now drills straight down. The horizon wrinkles, a smudge of gray-green. Olive trees, acacias. Your brain offers a slideshow of every oasis fresco from Marrakesh to Memphis. A trader mutters about Solomon's lost mines, says jinns plant false forests to trap the greedy. Skepticism dies when the first palm fronds pierce the haze. Shouts erupt, raw throats forgetting pain. The vultures scatter, indignant waiters robbed of a banquet. You stumble toward the promise of shade, each step cracking salt crusts on your boots. Something glints in the dirt. A Roman coin, just a mica fleck. Close enough. The well's mouth gapes, stone lips chipped by 1,000 ropes. A frog croaks far below. Someone weeps. The water, when it comes, tastes of algae and 1,000 sandal-clad feet. You drink until your stomach screams. A price you'll pay tonight in fitful sprints behind salt bushes. The caravan master posts guards, not against bandits, but overeager drinkers. A Nubian king drowned in a puddle once, he warns. True story. You don't care your shadow already pools beneath you, liquid and cool. The vultures perch on distant rocks, black-robed judges tallying their ledgers. Tomorrow's thirst can wait. Tonight, you sleep clutching an empty water skin like a lover's hand. The date palms beckon, a green smear bleeding through heat-warped air. You count them 4 times, 19. Always 19, though logic says they'd multiply as you near. A guide hums a Songhai lullaby water that runs when the moon faints. But the tune frays at the edges. Your camel's nostrils flare, it knows. You squint, towers of sun-bleached stone rise between the palms. Tadmeka. Someone croaks. Historians still argue whether that fabled gold city had obsidian walls or just clever mud brick. Your sandals sink, grainy resistance where solid earth should be. The scout spits saliva, hits the ground as powder. A bad sign or a terrible joke. The oasis shivers. Palms become scribbles of charcoal on a burning page. A merchant's wife unwraps a scarab amulet, its dung beetle curves polished by dead fingers. Hold it upside down, she insists. Miracles hate dignity. You humor her. The beetle's stone belly feels like ice. Shadows stretch, long fingers clawing toward the trees. Every third blink steals details. A missing well here, a dissolved goat path there. A camel driver barks laughter. I've pissed clearer mirages. His bravado cracks as his mount backs away, hooves kicking up dust devils. The caravan master halts, pulls a Zhanghe compass from his robe. Its needle trembles, spins twice, goes limp. Cinnabar poisoning, he mutters. Ming Dynasty sailors feared this lodestone corruption from southern stars. You're pretty sure that's not a thing. Pretty unsure too. Children dart ahead, their laughter peeling away layers of silence. One returns clutching a date, pulp dry as papyrus. Bit it, she giggles. Tastes like grandpa's beard. The fruit disintegrates, seeds clatter like dice. The first palm trunk dissolves, a sand snake uncoiling into air. Then another. Then 5. A scholar once theorized mirages are memories, the desert regurgitating swallowed cities. If true, this one's got indigestion. You step back, the ground sighs where your weight just lingered. A trader from Agadez unspools blue cloth, measures the remaining trees against its dye. Indigo doesn't lie, he sniffs. The fabric shows 19 palms, all upside down. The woman with the scarab cackles, wipes dust tears from her eyes. Someone starts digging, fingers bloody within minutes. A boy vows he heard water gurgle, likely his own stomach. The scout finds a camel skeleton mid-crouch, ribs snapped from a death leap toward nothing. Old trick, she says. Sand drinks hope first. The caravan master lights a juniper twig. Smoke coils into a question mark. Wind answers, scatters it southward. We go where the lies aren't, he declares. No one argues. Even the scarab woman packs up. You pocket a phantom date pit. Its weight fades by the 4th step. Behind you, the last palm curdles into haze, a scribe's inkblot drowning in tea. The scholar's theory nags. If deserts remember, do they also forget? Night falls, a vulture glides overhead. No circles tonight, it flies straight as a blade. You count your swallows again. 13. Always 13. The fire snaps awake, a chorus of sparks chewing through thorn branches. Someone drags a lute from saddlebags. Its gut strings groan like widowed hyenas. Elders huddle close, their faces clay masks in the flicker. Gold-built Atlantis, croaks a Tuareg, with salt-crusted eyes. But Troy's fall, that's where true hunger rots. Historians still argue whether Saharan merchants knew Homer's tales or just stole better metaphors. You fold cola nut into your cheek. The bitter tang pulls saliva from stone. A Malian trader winks. Cleopatra herself craved this, swallowed it before royal appointments. He mimes an obscene gesture. Laughter barks scares a jackal lurking beyond the firelight. Flames lick a copper bowl, molten shea butter pools like liquid amber. Listen well, sand squatter, rasps a woman missing 3 fingers. Troy's walls fell to greed, not horses. The real trick. Greeks smuggled gold inside the gift. She taps her nose. Dumb Trojans checked for swords, never weighed the damn thing. A Berber woman tosses powder into flames. It hisses green. Crocodile dung, she explains. Pharaohs used it against sunburn. Smells like victory. Your nose wrinkles. Victory apparently involved dead fish and poor choices. The storyteller's hands carve air, a pantomime of Helen's stolen jewelry. Each Trojan bangle held Mansa Musa's gold, he insists. Never mind the timelines. West African gold did bankroll medieval Europe. That part's textbook. Your back tingles. Sand remembers being minted into florins. Someone passes smoked perch. It tastes like salted parchment. You chew slowly. A boy whispers. They say Troy's princes traded amber for Saharan salt, made Aphrodite weep at the markup. The lute player plucks a dissonant chord, the mood sours. Wind steals part of the next tale, something about a Trojan princess drowning in a well of melted coins. The fire dims, shadows eat the elder's lips. You catch phrases, guarded by bees, silk maps, a crown that sizzled in moonlight. The cola's bitterness peaks, your tongue maps craters. A camel grumbles nearby, the same derisive snort it gave yesterday's mirage. You have expected to mutter, Homer, overrated. A northerner unveils a scar, a jagged line from collarbone to ribs. Got this bartering with Troy's ghost traders, he boasts. They're picky about olive oil grades. No one points out his ghost scar still oozes. The jackal laughs again, closer now. The Berber woman rubs dung smoke on her arms, streaks of ashy green. Try it, she urges. 20 years from now, your skin thanks me. You decline. Some prophecies smell worse than others. Embers spit, one lands on the Tuareg's faded robe. He brushes it off, no hurry. Gold's a trickster, he murmurs. Today it buys kingdoms, tomorrow a shroud thinner than hope. The lute strings snap, a finality that silences even the wind. You spit the spent cola leaf. Its ghost numbs your lip for 3 breaths. The fire dims. Somewhere north, a real Troy's ruins sleep under Anatolian soil. Or maybe that's just the stars getting chatty. The jackal's laugh still echoes in your skull as you unroll your sleeping mat. Camel dung smoke clings to your robes, a gritty perfume that can't mask the Sahara's olden musk. Your fingers brush something jagged in the sand, a pottery shard worn smooth by centuries of wind. Historians still argue whether such fragments mark forgotten trade routes or just garbage from better organized campers. You lie back, spine protesting like an overloaded camel. The stars blur. Something skitters over your left ankle, a shadow with too many legs. Muscle memory kicks in before your eyes open. You roll sideways, slap blindly. A crackle of chitin, the scorpion's tail stabs your palm. White fire races up your arm. You hiss, crush the creature under your heel. It pops like a rotten date. 2 stings, barks the Berber woman from earlier. She's already mashing acacia bark with a rock. Lucky. Emperor Augustus's cousin died in 3 breaths from just 1. The poultice smells like fermented apricots. She slaps it on coolness, battles the venom's burn. Your hand swells anyway, a bloated starfish. Stop poking it, she scolds. Scorpion venom's half magic. In Marrakesh, they pay gold to get stung, think it cures baldness. Pain throbs in time with your pulse. Camel bells clank nearby Dahlia, your surliest dromedary, sniffing the dead scorpion. Don't eat that, you slur. She honks, doubtless judging your life choices. The Berber woman spits. Stupid beast. Camels attract scorpions. They piss on sand to mark territory. Scorpions love the smell. You file this under things guides omit. Moonlight glints on her earlobe, a silver scarab clutching a turquoise. Its pincers seem to twitch. Minutes ooze by. The acacia works mostly. Your fingers regain feeling, an unfortunate development. Dahlia settles beside you, radiating warmth and disdain. Should have used the dung salve, mutters the woman. Pharaohs invented it for snake bites, works on idiots too. A wind stirs the dunes, whispering of bigger predators stalking the dark. Your mind conjures Troy's ghost traders, sharpening their olive oil invoices. The sting sight itches ferociously. Don't scratch, warns the woman, vanishing into shadow. Next time, check your boots. Dahia's breath steadies, a wheezy lullaby. You count her eyelashes to stay awake. 17 on the left, 18 on the right. Uneven, like your luck. The stars pivot overhead, eternally unimpressed. Somewhere, a real Roman emperor's cousin died gasping. You understand the sentiment. Morning arrives, pale and smug. The swelling sinks, your hand now resembles bread dough left to rise. The Berber woman tosses you a withered root. Chew this, tastes like hyena's breath, stops the shakes. She's right about the taste. Dahlia rises, sand cascading from her hump. The scorpion carcass is gone. You choose not to ask. The caravan readies itself, trading poisoned tailies over dried dates. Someone claims scorpion venom, once flavored a sultan's wine. Another insists they guard buried treasure. You adjust your headscarf, the world tilts, then steadies. The desert winks, 1,000 glittering mica eyes. Some warnings come too late. Others stick in your boot, waiting. The northerners arrive at high sun, their silver ingots clanking like frozen laughter. Their leader's beard glitters, flecks of mica woven through wiry strands. He points at your salt bricks with a blade-thin finger. Taghaze's tears, he rasps, a dialect that clicks like pebbles in a gourd. Historians would later claim these salt mines birthed empires. Your aching shoulders, just call it back-breaking labor. Dahlia huffs, her breath salty, even from 3 paces. The Berber woman nudges you. Watch their hands. Tuareg traders mark silver purity with thumbnails. Deeper grooves mean richer metal. You squint. The leader's nails resemble desert washboards. Bartering begins. A salt slab taller than your knee earns 42 silver pieces. Their scribe counts aloud, each number a tongue-clicking marvel. You catch the Berber woman mimicking him behind her veil, shoulders quaking with silent giggles. 15 camels away. A trader rubs salt into his camel's flank, warding off evil spirits. Or fleas. Tough to tell. The Tuareg reject your 3rd brick, a hairline crack marring its surface. Flawed crystal, sneers the scribe. You bite back a retort about their pockmarked silver. Compromise comes via cloth, indigo-dyed tunics thrown onto the scales. Their blue stains your palms like diluted twilight. Someone offers fermented goat milk, a peace gesture, or gastrointestinal warfare. You sip, it curdles on your tongue. Tastes like regret, you mutter. The Berber woman snorts. In Gao, they distill this into paint stripper. Tried it once, my shadow fell off for a week. Wind shifts, carrying the northerners' musk of charcoal and preserved lemons. Their leader produces a scroll, papyrus yellowed as old teeth. Your salt's destination, a coastal fortress where crusaders hoard spices. Historians still argue whether silent barter, no shared language, just goods on sand, ever truly happened. Watching these men pantomime tax rates, you believe it. A junior trader slips you a carved bone token, crude waves etched into its surface. For safekeeping, he whispers, voice smoother than his superiors. You palm it. Thousands still debate if such tokens were receipts, game pieces, or flirtation tools. Sunset transforms the salt stacks into glowing monoliths. The Tuareg retreat, silver diminished, camels groaning under newfound weight. Your fingers find that bone token again. Cheaters die, declares the Berber woman. She's peeling a sun-blistered date. Last caravan through those when bandits attacked. Confused the camels bought time to flee. Dahlia headbutts your hip, demanding tribute. You snap off a salt crystal, let her tongue rasp against its edges. Stupid beast, you sigh, fondness bleeding through. Somewhere south, your Mali kin are grinding millet, unaware their salt now marches toward Frankish kitchens. The scribe's clicking fades with the light. Moonrise brings accounting. 370 silver pieces, 10%, vanished to toll sands. The Berber woman spits, a perfect arc that steams on cold ground. Thieves, in Zanata lands, we bargain with axes, cuts the haggling. You restock your water skins, their leather stiff, with evaporated hope. That token burns in your pouch riddle, wrapped in bone. Tomorrow's dune might swallow it, or maybe Frankish shores await. For now, it's just you, a dented silver bowl, and the Sahara's oldest truth, salt outlives kings, fires dwindle. The northerners' camp echoes with unfamiliar song, a drone that vibrates your molars. Your swollen hand twinges acacias, work unfinished. Trade's done, growls the Berber woman, tossing you a sardine-sized date. Eat, next time, we'll teach them real bartering with camels and a sturdy whip. Dahlia sneezes salt dust, mushrooms into the dark. You picture crusaders seasoning mutton with your labor, sweat, and scorpion stings baked into every grain. The wind licks your face, a dry chuckle. Somewhere, a Frankish lord wonders why his meal tastes of endless sky. The horizon bruises purple, your first warning. Camels bray a sound like snapping tent poles. The Berber woman yanks her veil taut. Dust gin coming, she hisses. You squint westward. A towering brown wave swallows the sun. Wind slaps your face. Grit pricks like needle teeth. Dahlia bucks, kicks her salt sacks into a makeshift windbreak. Smart beast. Caravans used camels as living shields during storms, their bodies blocking the worst blows. You crouch behind her heaving flank. Saddle straps whip your thighs. The world dissolves. Sand creeps into your nostrils, each breath a siphon of dirt. You fumble for cloth, wrap it over your nose. Scholars still debate if 8th century traders used wet linens or dry wool against storms. Right now, you trade a gold dinar for either. A cooking pot clangs past, its flight cut short by a dune. The Berber woman shouts something about ostrich eggs. Later, she'll claim swallowing one pre-storm guards the lungs, fringe desert lore, but you spot her choking down a raw yolk mid-gale. Wonders never cease. Lightning forks, a violet scar across the brownout. Thunder growls beneath the shrieking wind. You taste copper static clinging to your teeth. 3 camels bolt their panic swallowed by the murk. Let them run, the Berber woman coughs. Fool beasts'll outpace the storm's edge. Hours blur. Sand infiltrates everything. Your water skins crunch like sugar jars. A hand brushes your ankle, a junior trader, blind and crawling. You drag him into Dahia's lee. His gratitude comes as a molar spat into your palm. Can't decipher the custom, an IOU, a curse. Silence falls sudden as a slit throat. The storm's eye. The Berber woman spits a mud glob. Check your ears. You dig out enough sand to seed a vineyard. She nods at the departing black wall. Rest's coming. Worse half, like a scorpion's tail. True to her word, the wall pivots. Hail mixes with grit, ice pellets, sandblasting your knuckles. Dahia moans. You press your forehead to her matted fur. 14th century Timbuktu manuscripts describe storms lasting 40 days. You'll settle for 40 minutes. A thunderclap detonates overhead. The Berber woman grabs your elbow. Up, she screams. You stumble toward a sandstone outcrop, its pockmarked face offering meager shelter. A leather sack tumbles by, your last dates scattering like fleeing mice. The storm dies at dawn, its exit a fading howl. Your group emerges, mummified in dust. Someone coughs up a mud dollop shaped like Molly. The junior trader bows, gestures to his missing molar gap. Historians still argue whether Saharan peoples ritually removed teeth during rites of passage. You pocket his offering anyway. Dahia survives barely. Her left ear's tattered, sandblasted into a crescent moon shape. You press your last acacia paste into the wound. The Berber woman inspects the horizon. Good news, she croaks. Storm cleared a path. She points at freshly exposed bedrock, ancient camel hoofprints fossilized in stone. Your map's gone, devoured by the jinn. No matter. The North Star winks through lingering haze. The Berber woman kicks a half-buried water skin, its contents now a slurry of sand and regret. Next trade, she rasps. Negotiate for stormproof lungs. Dahia sneezes, launching a miniature dust devil. You cough laugh, ribs aching like rung bells. Somewhere ahead, Timbuktu's scholars debate celestial mathematics. Somewhere behind, your storm-scoured trail crumbles. The Sahara exhales, a jealous lover erasing evidence of your passage. Sunlight pierces the airborne dirt, a gauzy amber veil. You tie what's left of your head wrap into a knot. The camels rise, groaning like unoiled axles. First step forward. Sand swallows your boot hole. The Berber woman grins, cracked lips bleeding rust. Walk light, she advises. Desert's hungry today. Nightfall brings no mercy. The cold clamps down like iron manacles. You stamp numb feet, Sand hisses against leather wraps. That morning's blazing sun feels mythical now, a prankster god's cruel joke. Shadows elongate, dunes writhe like restless serpents. Your footprints dissolve behind you, the Sahara, devouring even memory. A junior trader mutters about compasses. Fools, 14th century Malian guides used lodestone divination boards, but yours shattered in the storm. North could be anywhere or nowhere. Dahlia halts, snorts at a crescent-shaped dune. Moonlight reveals grooves in its flank, parallel ridges too precise for wind. You crouch. Carved symbols emerge. Spirals, half-moons, arrows. Not natural. Historians still argue whether these marks were trail markers or warnings to trespassers. The Berber woman spits. Dead language. She traces a symbol, a circle bisected by zigzags. My grandmother called these thirst marks. Her finger stabs east. Water that way. Maybe. How maybe? Carved 500 years back. Wells die. You swallow a laugh. Modern archaeologists found similar carvings near Timbuktu's ruins, salt roots mapped in stone. But the Sahara redesigns itself nightly, trusting ancient glyphs like following a blind poet's love sonnet. The dunes shift, a low moan vibrates through your souls. Legends claim the sand sings when shifting. Quirky geologists insist it's just quartz crystals vibrating, poetry versus physics. Right now, you vote for ghosts. Someone lights an oil lamp, its flame gutters blue. Shadows twist into scorpion shapes. Douse it, the Berber woman barks. Light draws the dune wolves. A fringe belief, no wolves here for millennia. But darkness feels safer. Your canteen sloshes, half sand, half metallic tasting water. A trader offers roasted termites. Stale, but protein's protein. Mansa Musa's caravans apparently ate them during their hajj. Gold-laden pilgrimages need practical snacks. You crunch extra loud, annoyance masquerading as bravery. The moon vanishes, clouds conspiring with the desert. Panic hums in your throat. Cold amplifies every sound. A camel's wheeze becomes a death rattle. Your mapmaker's fingers itch, useless without stars to chart. 10th century navigators used Polaris as their anchor. You've got a void. A child points, whispers about firelight ahead. Squint hard. Flickers dance, amber smudges on the horizon. The Berber woman grunts. Phantom camp. Sand reflects old fires. Walk toward them, you'll chase until dawn. The group fractures. 3 traders stumble toward the mirage. You stay put, knees hugged to chest. Your mother's voice surfaces. Lost. Dig a hole. Earth remembers. You scoop sand, palms scraping something cold. A clay shard surfaces, glazed blue, edges worn smooth. Roman, probably from a shattered amphora. Evidence of trade routes older than Islam, old empires drunk on Saharan gold. You pocket it. Archaeologists would swoon. Right now, just a decent digging tool. Dawn teases, gray fingers clawing the east. The moon peeks back, a fair weather friend. Shadows retreat, revealing fresh dunes, where flat sand slept hours prior. The phantom camp, hunters return empty-handed, frost coating their beards. The Berber woman uncorks her last oilskin. Liquid plops out, frozen solid. She chuckles, a sound like cracking ice. "Good news," she rasps. "Found our heading." She points at your shivering hands, norths wherever your fingers don't snap off. You trudge. Each step births a new dune, ankles screaming. A child's scarf snags on a thorn bush. The fabric unravels like a time-lapsed corpse. Around midday, you spot it, a single ibex skull jammed into a dune's crest. Teeth intact, grinning at infinity. The Berber woman halts. "Turn back." "Why?" She prods the skull with her staff. "Too clean. No vultures pick bones this fast." Someone gasps. Pink droplets stain the sand beneath the skull, too fresh for the arid air. Your gut clenches. Ambush. Predator. Both. Either way, this ibex didn't die of nostalgia. You reroute, veering west. The desert approves, wind erases your detour. 2 hours later, a rock outcropping emerges, a sandstone molar jutting skyward. Carved niches riddle its base. Offerings, dates, salt chunks, a porcelain doll's arm. The Berber woman hisses, blocks your approach. Spirit house. Touch nothing. Historians still argue whether Saharan shrines served religious purposes or functioned as territorial markers. You toss a pebble instead. It clatters into a niche, dislodging a scroll case. Vellum unfurls, Hebrew script blackened by sun. 10th century Jewish traders. Common on these routes. Wind snatches the scroll, sends it kiting into the void. The Berber woman mutters a protective chant. You count remaining camels. 16. No, 15. When did Dahlia wander off? Noon bleeds into afternoon. Shadows recommit to haunting. The dunes tighten, knee-high ripples becoming house-sized waves. You spot vultures 8, maybe 9, circling a point north. The Berber woman shields her eyes. Hate to say it, follow the birds. They lead to a salt pond, its surface choked with dead fish, frothing brine bubbles. The stench melts your nasal hairs. 3 camels drink anyway, you don't stop them. Survival often tastes foul. You refill canteens with fishy sludge. The Berber woman sketches a map in wet sand. 3 days west Timbuktu. Her lines dissolve as fast as she draws. A metaphor. Yes. Annoying. Also yes. Dusk arrives, a carbon copy of yesterday's. You bury a salt nugget as offering. Maybe the desert prefers its currency. The ibex's bloody grin surfaces in memory. Something growls beyond the firelight. Camels stir, their eyes wide as moons. You throw another thorn bush on the flames. Sparks rise, false stars against the true. Somewhere out there, Dahlia wanders, or lies half-eaten. Somewhere ahead, Timbuktu's scholars debate ethics while sipping mint tea. You carve a spiral into your canteen, a vow to outlast the night. The dunes sigh, a lover's taunt. Your breath fogs, each exhale a ghostly surrender. Sleep comes fitfully. Dreams reek of ibex blood and Roman wine. Dawn, when it cracks the horizon, reveals a single truth. No path lasts here, only footprints awaiting erasure. Bleached ribs jut skyward, a skeletal archway to nowhere. You kneel, fingertips brushing bone, polished smooth by centuries of sand. The Berber woman snorts. Caravan grave, touch that you'll dream camel breath till solstice. Wind whistles through the ribs, a mournful flute song. 14 camels died here, maybe more. Their cargo, salt slabs fused to the ribs like grotesque barnacles. One ivory fang protrudes, a hippo tusk, repurposed as a tent pole. 9th century traders used these beasts to haul Ghana's gold north. Now their architecture, you pocket a tooth fragment, bad luck. But history favors the bold, or the stupid. The group circles the site, eyes locked on the ground. Someone finds a corroded bell, its clapper rusted mute. Another spots sulfur-stained rocks, signal fire remnants. A teenager asks, or cremation pit, the Berber woman mutters. She kicks a tibia, it crumbles like stale bread. This place drank 100 travelers, maybe 2. Sands hide their screams good. Your canteen feels heavier, last night's briny sludge sloshing. A trader unwraps mint leaves, stale but fragrant. You scatter them over the bones, an offering to THE Chinese letter, Japanese letter, Chinese letter, Chinese letter. The Berber woman nods approval. Spirits hate bad breath. Historians still argue whether Saharan tomb markers guided traders or lured scavengers into ambush. Debate feels pointless here. The mint's sharp scent mixes with rot your nose wrinkles. A camelier carves a spiral into the dust. For the vanished, he explains. Wind erases it before his knife sheathes. Sunlight glints off something metallic. You dig, a child's copper bracelet emerges, green with patina. Engraved camels march its circumference, their legs worn to nubs. Mansa Musa's reign saw such trinkets traded for Venetian glass. Now, it's just another ghost. The Berber woman studies the horizon. Storms coming. No clouds mar the cerulean void. She sniffs the air like a hound. Not sand. Worse. 3 hours later, the wind shifts. A sweetness coats your tongue. Dates. Rotting ones. The source. A collapsed well nestled between dunes. Its stone rim sports carvings, spirals within triangles. You've seen this before, desert shrines using geometry to ward off evil or attract it. A trader lowers a bucket, it splashes. The Berber woman grabs the rope. Fools, smell that, too late. He hauls up black sludge, dates fermenting in tepid water. The stench hits like a fist. Camels balk, even they've got standards. Dusk bleeds in early, the sky a jaundiced yellow. You huddle near the skeleton's shadow. It's colder here, the ribs stealing what little heat escapes your cloak. Someone hums a Mali wedding song. The Berber woman tosses a salt crystal into the well. For THE Chinese letter, Japanese letter, Chinese letter. Maybe she'll stop sulking. Nightfall brings a visitor, a desert hare, limps into camp, one ear torn, fur patchy. It gnaws a mint leaf, unafraid. Ancestor, whispers the youngest trader, here to guide us. The Berber woman lobs a pebble it misses. Dinner, she counters. You toss the hare a date pit. It flees, legs skittering across moonlit sand. The cameleer laughs. Hopes for rabbits. We're J-U-S-T, Chinese letter, Chinese letter, Chinese letter. His joke dies midair. Wind resumes its ghostly howl through the ribs. Dawn reveals tracks around the well-clawed, three-toed, larger than any sand fox. The Berber woman prods them. Old, new, both, she shrugs. Desert's got a sense of humor. You sip bitter water, the well's gift. Your tongue feels fuzzy. Someone coughs violently, a wet, hollow sound. The caravan moves on, leaving the bones to their endless vigil. 2 miles east, a vulture spirals downward. Its shadow brushes your neck cold, then gone. Wings slice the air, a feathered blade missing your ear by inches. The falcon's shadow chills your neck before you register the shriek. 34 heartbeats later, you count each one, the flock erupts. Sand grouse scatter like tossed coins, their panic, a whirlwind of speckled feathers. The Berber woman curses in Tamashek, a guttural word meaning skydagger. 6th century traders prized these raptors, trained them to snatch messenger pigeons mid-flight. Yours isn't a drill. Talons glint, a sandgrouse crumples, its demise faster than a dropped water skin. Someone yelps. A boy wipes falcon offal from his cheek. Lunch delivery, you joke, voice wobbling. No one laughs. Camels duck, their long necks coiling like reluctant springs. Your hands tremble not from fear, but the aftermath of that well's brackish gift. A headache pulses behind your left eye. The falcon circles its kill, clutched in bloody fists. 18 seconds airborne, then it vanishes behind a dune. Historians still argue whether Saharan falconry began as sport or a survival tactic against plague carrier birds. The Berber woman spits. Male, juvenile, hungry enough to hunt near humans. She jerks her chin westward, 7 more specks spiral high above. Your gut clenches, predatory math. Sunlight glints off something below the nearest dune. You squint, crumbling mud walls peek through sand. A caravanserai ruin. No, too small. The structure's angles mirror those Malta's Templars favored. Or maybe you're hallucinating. The cameleer frowns. Old ostrich trap, see the pit. He kicks a stone. It plinks against buried pottery shards. 13th century, hunters dug these hollows, lined them with spikes, camouflaged by brush. You shudder, imagine flightless giants plunging into darkness. Focus, the Berber woman barks. She's coiled like a spring knife, hilt protruding from her belt. The falcons bank sharply, wind whistling through their primaries. One dives, a sandgrouse veers left straight into another's talons. Teamwork, evolution's nightmare. Your camel snorts, hot breath humid on your neck. Its nostrils flare at the blood scent. Easy, Jamal, you murmur, fingers brushing its leathery ear. The Harlem Zoo, proved in 1973 that camels recognize their names, though Jamal seems unimpressed by his own. A feather drifts down, quill brushing your forearm. Barbules cling like desperate fingers. You pocket it, future bargaining chip or kindling. Timbuktu's markets once sold falcon plumes for scribe pens. Now they're mostly tourist fodder. Shadows lengthen, the hunters retreat. Their screeches fade, replaced by the camels' discontented grumbles. Someone digs through a saddlebag, offers dried goat meat. You decline, stomach churning. The Berber woman smirks. City liver. 3 arguments erupt. A trader insists falcons signal nearby water. Another claims they're jinn scouts. The teen who caught awful wails about curses. You tune them out, stare at the horizon. That ruin still nags. Multistyle angles in Mali. Preposterous. Yet wind unearths a corner of the pit, reveals carved symbols. A stick figure with wings, arms upraised. Carthaginian, Garamonte, or just some hunter's midday doodle. You snap a willow twig, sketch the symbol in dust. Sand erases it, patient as a scribe's eraser. The cameleer groans. We're sitting ducks. Move. Dusk bleeds across the sky. Your shadow stretches 30 paces. Berber woman takes point, her knife now unsheathed. Jamal's gait feels jerky, muscles stiff from fear. Or maybe the poison still lingers. Nightfall brings no stars, clouds smothering the sky. Someone lights a torch, its flame paints the dunes blood orange. The falcons return, silent this time. Wings rustle just beyond the firelight. Your scalp prickles, each hair a tiny antenna. A weight grazes your shoulder, you spin. Empty air. Then claws snatch your head wrap. Linen tears, the falcon ascends, fabric fluttering like a surrender flag. Laughter erupts, nervous, too loud. New hat, someone jeers. The Berber woman isn't amused. They're testing. Her blade reflects torchlight, a jagged orange line. Next strike won't miss. You press against Jamal's flank, wool robe scratching your cheek. His heartbeat thrums through the saddle, a slow, massive drum. The cadence steadies you. 3 deep breaths. 4. A shriek pierces the dark, this time behind. The torchbearer yells, flame guttering as he swings. A Fudian mass hits the sand, wings flapping violently. 2 falcons tussle, a rival clan. No, they're mobbing a nightjar. The smaller bird darts upward, a fainted escape. Clever girl, the Berber woman hisses. Enough. She grabs a water skin, hurls it skyward. Falcons scatter. The Ark of the Covenant couldn't have cleared the room faster. They hate camel urine smell. You blink. Is that? Don't ask. Dawn arrives, pale and grudging. The falcons are gone, only footprints remain. Strange ones, 3-toed, deep in the center. The Berber woman crouches, fingers tracing the pattern. Ostrich, too small, your mouth tastes of copper. Maybe, whatever made those well tracks. No one answers. The caravan marches, sunburned and twitchy. Vultures reappear, 14 of them, riding thermals like lazy kites. Jamal sneezes, spraying mucus across your sleeve. You let it dry. battle scars. Your shadow stretches long and thin, a withered sapling against the dunes. Jamal's hooves crunch something brittle, a tortoise shell bleached paper white. The Berber woman halts, her knife drawn before you hear the crack. Earth splits, a jagged grin parting beneath your feet. Sand cascades into the fissure, hissing like 1,000 startled serpents. Someone screams. You scramble back, palms slicing on a shale edge. Blood beads drips into the void. A glint rises from the darkness. Water. Camels bray a cacophony of hope and panic. Their ropes strain as they surge toward the rift. Jamal's neck arches, nostrils flaring at the damp air. 7th century traders called these veins Alma al-Gadir, the hidden waters. Few lived to mark them on maps. The Berber woman kicks a stone into the abyss. 6 seconds pass before a distant plunk. Shallow, she grunts. Lower the skins. Blankets become ropes. Saddlebags transform into buckets. You brace against Jamal's flank, hauling up the first dripping load. Liquid mud sloshes, flecked with mica shards. A nomad laughs, crude joke about the Sahara, serving grit soup. Drinking feels illicit, warm, and mineral sharp. Your tongue swells thirstier after the first sip. Camels guzzle with grotesque slurps, their throat pouches ballooning. Easy, you croak, patting Jamal's side. Save some for the he belches a fog of fermented hay. The water's origin sparks whispers. Rain trapped during the green times, insists a leather-faced trader. Fool, snaps another. This is tears from the earth's core. Historians still argue whether Saharan groundwater comes from Atlas Mountain snowmelt or ancient oceans sealed beneath the rock. You notice odd marks on the fissure's walls, not erosion, miniature cupules, each no wider than a dirham coin. Neolithic rain charms, or bored shepherds counting dry seasons. The Berber woman runs a thumb over them. Old, she concedes, older than Timbuktu's first brick. A camel driver collapses, cheek pressed to damp sand. His laughter bubbles through the mud. Praise be, praise be. Others join, forming a sloppy prayer circle. You recoil as someone grabs your ankle, their grip feverish. The water's surface ripples. Something pale drifts below a leaf. No, a scarab beetle carapace glinting blue-black. It paddles upward, antennae breaching the murk. Desert beetles navigate, using Milky Way patterns. Proven in a 2013 German study nobody here would believe. Alive, you murmur. But how? The answer arrives with a boom, thunder growling beyond the horizon. Camels jerk their heads, eyes rolling white. Rain rarely falls here, but when it does, the Sahara births miracles. Truffles swell overnight, nomads call them turfes, the desert's drunken walnuts. You once ate them roasted, their earthy tang lingering for days. The Berber woman sniffs the wind. Flash flood channel. Move. Too late. A resonant groan echoes through the fissure, water rising at alarming speed. Your makeshift rope frays. A saddlebag plummets into the depths. Jamal brays, yanking his tether from your hand. The praying man scrambles up, mud-smeared face, suddenly sober. Stone grinds against stone, the crack widens. A section of dune collapses, revealing smooth sandstone beneath. Carvings emerge, a procession of figures bearing jars. Libyans, Phoenicians, their stylized curls mirror those in Carthaginian tomb frescoes. Wine carriers, scoffs the leather-faced trader. Even ghosts get thirsty. Lightning forks, purple-white veins splitting the sky. The beetle vanishes, quest complete. Water laps at your toes, now warm as blood. Canteens float, greed overcomes caution as men dive to rescue them. You retreat backing into Jamal's sun-warmed side. The Berber woman shouts, words lost in another thunderclap. She's pointing east. A wall of mud barrels toward you, tan monstrosity crowned with debris. Uprooted acacias, shattered pottery. A camel's skull, empty sockets, judging your life choices. Chaos. You mount Jamal, no time for dignity. He lurches forward, his gait a panicked galumph. The flood licks your heels, snatching a sandal. Cold muck swallows it whole. Rain hits needle-sharp and relentless. It slicks Jamal's fur into dripping cords. The carvings vanish, reburied under Sahara's shifting skin. Someone's prayer beads skitter past, onyx stones clicking like angry insects. 2 hours later, the storm exhausts itself. Drenched and shivering, you count survivors. All present -3 water skins and your left sandal. Camels huddle their humps, sagging like melted wax. The fissure is gone, filled with fresh sand. Only a damp stain hints at the secret below. The leather-faced trader kneels, digs frantically. His hands emerge caked in grit, no water. A dream, he rasps. A cursed dream. But Jamal's bloated belly sloshes as he walks. The borrowed time begins its countdown. Lightning flickers again, or is it Timbuktu's lanterns? You can't tell anymore. The caravan trudges north, each squelching step a testament to the Sahara's caprice. Someone coughs, a wet, worrying sound. The Berber woman hums, a lullaby in Tamashek. Your bloodied palm throbs. Beetle or blessing, you'll never decide. The indigo-dyed envoy materializes, like twilight given form, his cloak swallowing the last daylight. 8 horsemen flank him, each bearing iron-tipped spears, older than your father's father. Their saddles creak, a symphony of camel bone and stiffened hide. Ghana's gold bearers approach, without dismounting, protocol as rigid as desert salt flats. You mimic the Berber woman's stance, palms up, head tilted to expose your throat. Silence stretches, broken only by the clink of amber lumps in your offering basket. A horseman snorts, his scarred mare stepping sideways. The envoy uncurls his fist, gold dust cascades onto a woven tray. Sunlight fractures through the particles, your pupils dilate like a prospector's dream. West Africa's gold flowed north through secret routes for centuries, carried by jelly griots who memorized every dune. Haggling happens through blinks. 3 amber chunks for 2 spoonfuls of dust, measured with guinea fowl feathers plucked from a rusted helmet. Pre-Islamic measure, the leather-faced trader mutters. Still used because royals think bird quills can't lie. You suppress a grin, imagining accountants somewhere tallying kingdoms with poultry accessories. The envoy's nose wrinkles. He adds a third feather's worth. Historians still argue whether silent trade, myths describe real rituals, or just confused Greek tourists misinterpreting language barriers. Your left foot still missing its sandal taps impatiently. The Berber woman elbows you. Every heartbeat, she whispers, lowers your price. Camels belch, a stench of half-digested acacia leaves. The envoy's mare flicks her tail, sending gold motes swirling. Someone sneezes, 8 spears jerk upward. Tense chuckles ripple, a trader's laugh dies when cold metal taps his jugular. The transaction concludes with spit, thick phlegm landing between both parties' feet. Binding. Disgusting. The envoy departs, leaving your hands cupping gold colder than moonlight. Molly's problem now, the Berber woman says, wiping her palm on Jamal's flank. You catch her staring northwest, where Timbuktu's scholars would dissect this dust-to-dust economy. Over mint tea, night falls, the horsemen's torches dissolving into fireflies. Your pouch hangs heavier, yet no richer. Gold bought passage through Ghana's lands, not happiness. The leather-faced trader counts his share and weeps for the family it'll never reach. Campfire gossip ignites. A boy claims Ghanaian gold turns to sand at sunrise. Punishment for selling sacred metal to infidels. The Berber woman tosses a date pit at his head. Fool, all wealth's an illusion here, just ask the Sahara. Stars wheel overhead, eternal spectators to this human ant's nest. You finger the gold dust, its texture finer than a moth's wing. Somewhere south, miners chant to mountains, coaxing metal from stone. Somewhere north, kings melt your tears into coins, bearing dead men's profiles. Jamal sneezes, scattering a fortune into the wind. Nobody stops to collect it. The gold-laced wind dies, leaving teeth-chattering silence. Night unspools its frozen threads. Your breath hangs, visible despite yesterday's furnace air. Camels press together, a fortress of musky fur and rattling sighs. Frost crusts Jamal's nostrils. Each exhale cracks the ice like mini avalanches. A Tuareg trader mutters ancient curses, his indigo veil stiff with frozen breath. Allah designed deserts to test fools, he grumbles. You huddle closer, strangers' hips and elbows crammed against yours. Body heat seeps through wool, one soul's warmth borrowed by another. Travelers from Arabia, 800 years, back rote of Sahara frostbite, their quill strokes preserved in Marrakesh libraries. The Berber woman produces a clay flask, dates fermented into liquid fire. It burns going down, your throat grateful for the betrayal. Drink slow, she warns. This stuff once melted a frozen scorpion. Poor thing woke up cranky. Stars glare down celestial veilleurs, enjoying your shivers. Someone's teeth clack a rhythm. You realize it's your own. The leather-faced trader unearths ostrich feathers, fanned across laps as makeshift blankets. Fluffy barbules trap air, nature's insulation, perfected over millennia. Historians still argue whether Saharan frost spurred the trans-Saharan wool trade, or if wealthy shepherds just loved itchy fashion. A camel coughs, its mucus freezing before hitting sand. The sound triggers nervous giggles, a chorus of cracked lips and chapped soles. You trade insults about each other's mothers, the cold making everyone fluent in nonsense. Dawn teases the horizon, yet the chill deepens. Paradox pins you breathless, desert logic turned inside out. A boy from Jen swears he sees ice crystals on a dune's crest. The group votes to let him keep believing. The Berber woman presses a warm stone against your spine, pulled from the coals. Sandstone's memory, she says, remembers sunlight better than we do. You envy geological patience, rock's ability to wait centuries for warmth. First light reveals frozen dew on saddlebags, precious drops stolen by the sky. Camels lap at the leather, their tongues leaving frost-bitten patterns. You count hours wasted, this hostile beauty delaying gold's journey. The Tuareg spits, the saliva crackles midair. Allah's joke, he declares, made sand cold as a tax collector's heart. The group groans, but you pocket the simile for later. Sunrise arrives pink and apologetic. Frost retreats, sublimating directly to vapor without goodbye. You stretch numb toes, knowing tonight's fire must answer tonight's frost. The Sahara whispers through thawing sands. Bet you assumed I only did heat. The desert exhales dawn's pink blush, fading into sterile blue. Rocks jut like broken teeth ahead, your camel stiffens beneath you. A low rumble vibrates through saddle leather, too deep for human throats. Torch flames whip sideways, though no wind blows. Your guide freezes, veiled face turning toward the outcrop. Two molten coins gleam in the shadows, lion eyes catching stolen sunlight. Its mane flares gold-white, the same hue as Ghana's purest dust. Barbary lions once prowled these ranges, North Africa's vanished kings, weighing as much as 4 grown men. Your sweat smells wrong suddenly, sour adrenaline betraying calm. The Tuareg whispers a proverb, dignity flees when lion breath warms your neck. Someone drops a water skin, the thud snaps the beast's gaze your way. Nostrils flare testing scent layers. Fear, camel musk, dried dates. Legend says 13th century traders rubbed lion fat on their feet, believing big cats wouldn't eat something that smelled like kin. You mentally curse their failed logic. Torch handles creak, every arm raised as makeshift defense. The lion's shoulder muscles ripple, a sandstorm given flesh. But it doesn't charge. Historians still argue whether Saharan nomads worshipped lions as protectors, or just told themselves that to sleep better. The Berber woman inches forward, her indigo robe hissing against stone. She pinches a date's pit between her teeth, sucks it clean with theatrical slowness. The lion's ear twitches, a house cat distracted by a crinkling paper ball. Shoo, she murmurs around the seed. Go snack on hyenas instead. Silence stretches, 14 humans forgetting to blink. Then, a snort. The lion shakes its mane dandelion fluffs of fur catching sunlight. It turns, haunches tensing for a leap no one will witness. Rocks clatter, the shadow melting into sandstone monoliths. Someone faints, their knees hitting sand with a comic F-wump. Nervous laughter erupts too loud, too jagged. The guide kicks the fallen man's boot. Allah gave you legs, he snaps, not jellyfish tentacles. You touch your chest, heart thrashing like a netted bird. Camel reins dangle forgotten, your mount's annoyed huff saying amateurs. The Berber woman spits her date pit, now scored with teeth marks. Next time, she says, you offer first snack. Salt traders' tailies flood your mind, stories of lions following caravans for days. Guardian spirits, some claimed. Hungry scouts, corrected others. A boy from Timbuktu brags about his grandfather's lion fur cloak, until the guide mutters, your grandfather was a terrible liar. Shadows shift, the outcrop stands empty. Torch smoke curls into harmless shapes, no fangs, no claws. You count 9 camels, all present, the ones chewing a thorn bush with existential despair. Someone starts singing a wedding hymn, voice cracking on the high notes. The guide glares at the horizon. Lion's a distraction, he says. Real dangers still ahead. But for now, lungs inflate, knees lock, sand grinds underfoot. Normalcy's fragile illusion holds. Sun climbs higher, roasting away the night's magic. You adjust your headscarf, fingers trembling only slightly. The camel sneezes, its opinion of predator encounters clear. Miles stretch out 1 foot, then another. Sahara's RHYTHM, Chinese letter, asserting itself. Someone mutters about lion-shaped mirages. You don't mention the golden hairs caught on your saddlebag, or how they glow like low embers in the dusk. The horizon shimmers, not with heat this time. Shapes coalesce, angular silhouettes stabbing through the haze. Your camel's ears twitch forward. It recognizes this destination's smell. Mud brick minarets pierce the sky, Timbuktu's skyline announcing itself like a raised eyebrow. Your thumb rubs the lion hairs stuck to your saddlebag, their glow dimming as daylight wins. Dust becomes road, well-trodden earth hardening underfoot. Passing a pottery cart, you catch whispers of Soninke dialect. The Sankor Quarter, the driver drawls, pointing at distant roofs. Scholars once crammed its courtyards, 25,000 manuscripts stacked in wooden alcoves. By the 14th century, your fingers itch, suddenly conscious of salt grime under nails. A donkey trots by, its back piled with ostrich eggs. The seller winks. From Gao better for writing than eating. Historians still argue whether Timbuktu's scribes really used eggshell powder to preserve ink, or if that's just merchant gossip. You press a coin into his palm, pocket an egg wrapped in rags. The gates loom crumbling archway streaked with pigeon droppings. Guards squint at your salt bricks, testing purity by licking the corners. Their leader snorts, North salt's better. You don't mention the urination trick for increasing crystal weight. Half the traders do it anyway. Bustle swallows you. Indigo-dyed scholars brush past camel dung vendors. A boy tugs your sleeve. Need directions. 2 cowries. His grin reveals a tooth inlaid with electrum metal from the very mines you left behind. You request the library. He tilts his head. Which one? Stone steps dip underground, air cooling as you descend. The scribe's chamber smells of panic, damp parchment, and grinding teeth. Leather-bound books line niches, Quranic verses, beside star charts, beside medical diagrams. A page flutters, your breath stills at geometric proofs, sketched in crushed coal. Careful, mutters a hunched figure, his stylus darting across vellum. Knowledge bites. He offers a cracked reed pen, insists you copy a line from Al Idris's North Africa Chronicle. Your attempt resembles a scorpion's trail, ink pooling where the nib snags. The scribe tuts. Your script needs more elegance. Outside, shadows stretch longer. Date palm fronds cast cage-like patterns over the street. You pass a storyteller's circle children, gasping at tales of Mansa Musa's Hajj. Gold reigned in Cairo for 7 days, he proclaims. A merchant nearby rolls his eyes, drops a silver dirham into your palm. Real gold stays quiet, he whispers. Your sandal snaps, heel leather parting after 700 desert miles. The cobbler's stall smells of rebellion, goat glue, and resentment. He mends it while describing Timbuktu's lost observatory, destroyed by nervous imams. In 1583, they feared stars more than ignorance, he spits. You pay extra for reinforced stitching. The call to prayer floats down, a melody older than the city itself. Courtyard fountains gurgle, each basin connecting to underground canals. A scholar rinses his face, sighs, as water traces his henna'd beard. Andalusia makes better plumbing, he complains to no one. Lamplighters begin their rounds, wicked irony in a city fueled by sunlight. You trace a map carved into the library wall, landmarks worn smooth by centuries of fingers. The Niger River curves like a scimitar, edges blurred, where travelers added new tributaries. Your own journey's end feels suddenly small, a comma in an epic poem. Night blooms, oil lamps casting honeyed squares on dusty streets. You clutch the ostrich egg, still whole despite the chaos. Somewhere, a reed flute trills its notes, threading through the scent of baking millet. The scribe's warning echoes. Knowledge does bite, but oh, the teeth gleam. The oil lamp gutters its smoke, stinging your eyes like a jealous lover. A figure emerges from the shadows, robes the color of dried papyrus. His fingers graze your ostrich egg. Fascinating vessel, he murmurs. Did you know Leo Africanus described Timbuktu's libraries as rivers of ink? You nod, mentally patting yourself for recalling that 16th century travelogue. He sits cross-legged, ignoring the scorpion skittering past his ankle. But where do literal rivers hide? His eyes gleam obsidian mirrors reflecting your exhaustion. The Jaliba River twists like a spurned serpent, but its birthplace. He trails off, drops a date pit into the sand. You seize the moment. Dust-caked fingers sketch the Niger's curve, memories of cracked riverbeds and crocodile-infested bends. The scholar leans close. Al-Bakri wrote of fog-shrouded mountains feeding it. 11 days walk from here. The book of roots and realms, that 11th century geography text you've heard drunken scholars quote. Wind licks your map, erasing villages as you draw them. He chuckles, a sound like parchment tearing. Some say underground rivers link Timbuktu to the Nile, a secret bloodstream beneath the dunes. You raise an eyebrow. That's camel driver talk. He shrugs. The desert keeps more truths than water. His sleeve ripples, revealing scarred wrists. I followed a fossilized riverbed once, found seashells where sand should rule. Historians still argue whether medieval Malian scholars knew the Niger's true source, or if that knowledge sank with Songai's last king. You toss a pebble, watch it vanish into darkness. Does it matter? All things circle back. He points at your half-gone map. You've drawn this before, in another life, perhaps. The joke lands awkwardly like a camel sitting on a lute. Your stomach growls, a feral counterpoint to the mood. 3 children sprint past, kicking a goatskin ball. It explodes against a wall, releasing a puff of bitter pollen. The scholar sneezes. Apologies, I'm allergic to hope. You snort, regretting it, when sand scrapes your sinuses. He produces a slate, scratches coordinates in chicken scrawl. Seek the well at Tenderma, dig past the 7th layer of bricks. Legend claims a Moorish engineer hid a copper map there, etched with roads even the stars forgot. You pocket the slate. What's the fee? Update my will. He extends a quill dipped in something suspiciously iridescent. Leave my bones to the desert, my books to the wind. You sign, ink glittering like crushed scarab wings. The call to prayer begins, a strained tenor wobbling on high notes. He melts into the night, leaving only an indigo thumbprint on your egg. Your map's gone now, windswept into oblivion, but the pebble in your pocket hums faintly, a low, wet sound. Your sandals crunch on rust-colored gravel. The canyon walls glow like embers in dying light. Hakim walks ahead, his indigo turban fraying at the edges. You count the 7 remaining camels, then 6. The missing beast carried salt bricks and dried dates, supposedly. Sand grouse nests ahead. Hakim calls, pointing to shadows pooling beneath an overhang. His scimitar glints, a crescent moon made mortal. You finger the humming pebble in your pocket, still damp from that scholar's parting gift. Night falls sharp and sudden. The campfire sputters, refusing to catch. Hakim's bedroll lies empty, a scorpion basking where he knelt. 3 water skins gone. 50 pounds of salt vanished. Your chest tightens, breath hissing through clenched teeth. A smear of blood mars the eastern dune, crimson beads sinking into sand. Historians note Takta's copper mines once fed medieval Europe's insatiable greed. But few mention the caravans that disappeared en route. You follow the trail, cursing the day you trusted a man who swore he was born under Scorpio's sting. Moonlight reveals footprints too small for Hakim's broad feet. A child's, the pebble vibrates, urging you toward a sandstone spire. Legend claims rogue traders in 1325 smuggled copper ingots inside hollow ostrich eggs, a fact scholars dismiss, until a hoard surfaced in Marseille last year. You freeze. A muffled whimper echoes a camel's mournful cry. Behind the spire, Hakim guts your missing beast, its belly spilling salt bricks wrapped in papyrus. His knife flicks, severing a leather cord around its neck. Gold dust patters into a goatskin pouch. 7 years I've waited, he rasps, stamping the Almoravid dinar emblem into the sand. The coin's twin edges mock you. Historians still argue whether the Takta miners mapped Africa's first labor strikes, or if those are just wishful legends. Wind shifts, carrying the tang of iron. You step on a dry acacia branch. The snap echoes like a broken spine. Hakim whirls, scimitar raised. His scar puckers, a souvenir from a Tuareg raid you now suspect he orchestrated. You're holding the wrong purse, you say, tossing his daughter's prayer beads into the dust. He stiffens, recognition flashing. The beads glow faintly, strung with lapis from a mine, swallowed by dunes last century. His blade dips, a fatal hesitation. You swing a salt brick, it cracks against his temple. He crumples gold dust, spilling from his pouch like reversed rain. The pebble hums louder, its vibrations matching the underground river the scholar described. Quicksand bubbles where Hakim falls, a hidden trapdoor to an aquifer below. His fingers claw at stone nails, splitting on carvings of ibis-headed gods. You don't understand, he gurgles, as the sand sucks him down to join the coppersmith ghosts. His turban remains stained indigo and crimson. You pocket the dinar, its edge pricking your palm. Justice in the Sahara rarely involves judges, just the desert's slow, certain metabolism. Dawn bleeds across the dunes, washing the canyon in pale gold. The camels huddle wide eyes, reflecting your frayed silhouette. You pour Hakim's gold dust into the wind, each fleck glinting like a tiny betrayal. The scholar's pebble lies silent now, its wet hum extinguished. Move, you tell the surviving beasts, hoisting the lightened packs. They groan, their complaints swallowed by the ever-watchful sands. Somewhere ahead, Timbuktu's shadow waits. Behind you, the canyon whispers Hakim's name in a language only vultures understand. The midday sun hammers Timbuktu's clay walls. Their cracked surfaces shimmer like snake scales. You pause at a merchant's stall, its awning flaps in the hot wind. An ebony mask stares from the shadowed corner, eyes hollowed into almond slits. Its surface drinks the light. No reflection dares linger on that polished blackness. The merchant leans forward, wrinkles deepening around his ash-gray beard. Carved by blind artisans, he croons, tapping the mask's temple. They say the darkness guides their chisels better than sight. His fingers brush carved serpents, coiled along the cheekbones, each scale precise as a fingerprint. Carved ebony flowed through Timbuktu's markets for centuries, traded ounce for ounce with gold under Mansa Musa's reign. You reach, then freeze. The mask's nostrils flare, wait, what doesn't breathe. A trick of shadow. The merchant's grin widens, revealing teeth filed to points. Touch it, he urges, pushing the mask closer. Feel the weight of its secrets. Your fingertips graze the brow, cold seeps into your bones. A low moan vibrates through the wood, too deep for human lungs. Geiger counters in 1972 briefly warbled near 3 such masks, their radioactive decay exceeding background levels. You snatch your hand back, palm tingling like ants march beneath the skin. 8 camels, the merchant says, scooping a dung beetle from his sleeve. Or that scholar's pebble you've been clutching since Walata. Your gut tightens. How does he know? Behind him, a beggar child mimics your earlier limp, exaggerated and cruel. Wind tugs your cloak, the mask's eyes tracking the movement. Historians still argue whether these masks channeled ancestral voices or just scared off jealous neighbors. The merchant tilts his head, neck joints popping like snapping twigs. You'll dream of it either way, he murmurs, stroking the M, a SKS Chinese letter, L Chinese letter. Memories surface, Hakim's gold dust spiraling into the wind, the scholar's warnings about hungry artifacts. Your thumb finds the dinar's edge in your pocket. Its bite sharpens your resolve. I'll keep my nightmares homemade, you say, backing toward the crowded thoroughfare. The merchant shrugs, wrapping the mask in faded damask. Next full moon, then. His laughter follows you, a dry rasp like sand through a sieve. By sundown, the mask haunts every shadow. Campfire flames twist into serpent shapes, their hisses echoing that wooden moan. You dump the last of your salt into the flames. For once, superstition outweighs commerce. The fire's last embers die as drums awaken, their rhythms thrumming through your sandals. Distant laughter rides the wind, a sharp contrast to yesterday's mask-induced dread. You crest a dune. Below sprawls a village lit by towering bonfires. Dozens whirl in the golden glow, ankle bells clashing with goat-hide drums. A woman grabs your wrist, her palms dusted with henna. Dance cleanses the journey stains, she insists, dragging you toward the fray. 14th century Malinke drummers once relayed messages across 8 days' distance, their coded beats faster than stallions. Your feet stumble, still heavy, with Sahara silt, but the drums dissolve resistance. Someone thrusts a calabash into your hands, fermented millet foam stinging your nostrils before the first sip. Across the flames, a boy slaps a dun-dun drum, its hourglass shape swaying under his palms. Scholars still debate whether the talking drums mimicked tonal languages or just made rulers feel clever. The beat shifts, your hips follow, betraying muscle memory you forgot existed. A elder's whistle halts the music. All eyes turn to cliffside. 3 drummers perch on the rocks, their instruments twice as large as men. The bass notes hit your sternum, each thump syncing with your pulse. Legend claims a 1932 expedition found drums stretched with dragon skin, later identified as Nile monitor lizard hide. You laugh, then choke, as the rhythm conjures memories of the ebony mask's moan. They play the sundering song, whispers your henna-handed guide. For travelers who have lost their shadows, the firelight paints 2 silhouettes at your feet, one still, one shuddering. A girl offers roasted scarab beetles, their crackled shells glinting like obsidian. Your stomach overrules decorum, crunching echoes the drum's cadence. Someone shouts. A dozen villagers form a human chain around you, their chanted welcome rhymes with Timbuktu and fool, or maybe that's the millet brew talking. A drummer locks eyes with you, his sticks blurring into bronze streaks. Historians still argue whether these festivals honored ancestors or just functioned as Bronze Age tinder. The ground itself seems to rebound underfoot, sand remembering every step taken across it. The music swells, a crescendo that vibrates your molars. For 3 heartbeats, joy outweighs suspicion. You're shouting nonsense lyrics with people whose names you'll never know. Then, a boy's shrill scream cuts through. The drums die. All faces turn to the eastern dunes. Your second shadow stirs, reaching toward the darkness beyond the firelight. The second shadow peels from your feet, slithering toward the dune's crest as daylight bleeds away. A black disk devours the sun. Nightfall crashes down in seconds. Birds shriek, ibises and vultures colliding midair in a feather storm. An elder spits into the sand, his mutters tangled with words like Mansa Musa and doom. You fumble for your water skin, fingers brushing cold metal instead. A merchant traded you this eclipse mirror, a palm-sized bronze disc etched with lion paws. 14th century accounts claim Mansa Musa timed his hajj using lunar omens, though his astrologers definitely ignored this sweat-drenched chaos. The dunes turn icy gray, your breath fogs, as shadows sharpen into blades. Someone shoves a gourd into your hands, liquid sloshes with an unsettling viscosity. Doggone recipe, a woman whispers. Millet beer mixed with eclipse dust. You pretend to sip, nostrils flaring at the whiff of burnt frankincense. Across camp, a child wails. Their mother stuffs a leather pouch into its mouth. Historians still argue whether desert tribes predicted eclipses or just got really lucky with guessing. The temperature plummets, goats huddle under salt sacks like lumpy ghosts. Stars pierce the false night, their patterns warped by the sun's smothered corona. A trader claims ancient kings viewed eclipses through polished obsidian, said you could spy the gods' secret names around the moon's edge. You squint at the bronze disk, see only your dirt-streaked reflection staring back. Fool's light, grunts the elder, pointing at jackals howling on the eastern horizon. Their eyes glow green coins suspended in the gloom. The Sahara holds its breath. Even the wind dies mid-whistle. Your shadow twin kneels ahead, reaching for the vanishing sun's rim. Then impact. Daylight slams back, a celestial drumroll of heat and noise. Camels bellow, their confusion echoing your own frayed nerves. The village erupts, arguments over stolen chickens, suddenly more urgent than cosmic prophecies. You glance down, two shadows again, welded to your heels. A king will fall before next rains, spits the elder, squinting at your eclipse mirror. He traces a crack in the bronze, or maybe just a camel. Your laugh comes out shaky, a poor imitation of courage. The desert shrugs off the spectacle, already baking away the night's strangeness. Somewhere, a donkey brays, its derision sounding suspiciously like oops. Your palm grazes the leather pouch, its once proud bulge, now sagging like a deflated water skin. A Tuareg merchant slides amber beads across his fingers, each click a tiny mockery of your dwindling coins. Gold from Saga. He snorts, dumping your dust onto a brass scale. Too much sand like Mansa Muses, parade beggar purse. You bristle at the reference. Everyone knows the emperors had flooded Cairo. With so much gold, it cratered local economies for a decade. But these northern traders care only about weight and wind-blown grit. 3 merchants ahead, their faces veiled in indigo cotton, barter salt blocks for a speckled hen. The bird clucks indignantly, a kindred spirit. A bony hand shoves a clay bowl under your nose, dates oozing honeyed syrup. 2 measures per drip, croaks the vendor. His stained teeth glisten, too sweet to trust. You shake your head. The motion dislodges a single gold flake from your pouch. It catches sunlight, a brief, arrogant spark before vanishing into sand. Laughter erupts from a spice stall. Turbaned men huddle over dice carved from hippo ivory. Their game board, a stretched gazelle hide branded with roots to Timbuktu. One player rolls a trio of scarab beetles. They scuttle in panicked circles. Even bugs flee your luck, jeers an onlooker, tossing a silver coin at your feet. You stoop to grab it, fingernails scraping grit. The metal feels suspiciously light. Flip it. A counterfeit Leo Africanus denarius grins up at you. Historians still argue whether the famed explorer minted these himself, or just inspired 1,000 Saharan scammers. You pocket it anyway. Defiance tastes better than despair. Dusk paints the market in fever tones, ochre shadows swallowing the haggling masses. A Berber blacksmith offers to melt your gold into rings, protection against jinn who steal weight. His forge glows, cursing the cooling air with each hammer strike. You decline, though his suggestion worms into your skull. The pouch feels heavier with secrets. A child tugs your sleeve, offers a scroll sealed with ostrich wax. Inside, a map to Ghana's hidden vaults, drawn in charcoal. The paper crumbles at the edges, its promise as fragile as your coins. You trade 2 date pits for it, a fair exchange of lies. Nightfall brings no relief. Lanterns cough saffron light over the stalls, their glow revealing merchants, sprinkling dog fur onto gold scales. Test for purity, one explains deadpan. If the hairs stick, it's sweated enough. You marvel at the creativity of deceit. A camel brays its load of copper pots, clanging like a drunken orchestra. The owner screams at the beast into mazite, or maybe just recites poetry. Hard to tell. Your last gold coin buys a thimble of mint tea stewed until it's bitter as regret. The vendor winks. Arab traders call this sand's revenge. Stars emerge, pitiless accountants tallying your losses. The North Star winks, or maybe it's just a sand-scratched cornea. A Tuareg proverb floats through the crowd, gold slips through fingers, but desert dust sticks to the soul. You tighten your pouch, resolve hardening like Nile mud in drought. Somewhere beyond the market's clamor, a donkey brays. The Sahara inhales, ready to whisper its next lesson. The donkey's bray fades, replaced by a low moan from the eastern horizon. You recognize that sound, the Sahara drawing breath before striking. Sun-bleached scarves snap like war banners as the first hot gust hits. Sand stings your cheeks, 1,000 needle pricks promising worse. The camel driver barks orders his voice, shredded by the growing roar. Sirocco, they warned you about these winds in Timbuktu's markets. For 1,200 years, this scorching breath has stalled caravans, crumbling empires who ignored its power. Your water skin slaps your hip, half empty, since that thrice-cursed salt trader shortchanged you. A veiled Tuareg tosses goggles carved from smoky quartz. Wear them, or go blind before noon. You fumble with the leather straps, already tasting grit between your molars. The world turns ochre. Distant dunes ripple like liquid bronze, heatwaves warping logic. Camels fold onto their knees, a survival tactic older than the pharaohs. You crouch beside one, pressing your face into its sweaty flank. Its fur reeks of sour milk and stubbornness. A small price for shade. Beside you, a merchant slave girl hums, a nasal tune about gazelles who outran storms. Quirkier scholars claim ancient Saharans trained those antelope to predict siroccos. You doubt it, but envy her courage to sing as the air fries. Your goggles film over turning the apocalypse into a smudged watercolor. Someone shouts about a lost salt brick worth 5 goats in Gao. No one moves to search. Survival math trumps greed when the wind steals breath. Hours blur. The Sirocco sculpts new dunes where your makeshift camp once stood. A veiled one crawls past, dragging a water skin split by the heat. You watch it drain into the sand, a libation for devils. Nightfall brings no coolness, only a different kind of oven. Stars hide behind airborne silt, the celestial guides you'd praised yesterday, now cowards. The North Star, a washed-out smudge, if it even exists anymore. You peel a shriveled date from your pocket, the last reward from that marble-hoarding trader. Historians still argue whether date pits or sand, caused more intestinal blockages on the route. You swallow both without checking. A child's whimper cuts through the wind's monotone. Its mother rubs henna paste on its eyelids, an old trick against sand blindness. The paste dries before she finishes, cracking into crimson dust. Dawn arrives as a rumor, a vague lightening of the murk. The sirocco's fury ebbs, replaced by the weight of trapped heat. Your tongue sticks to your palate, a prisoner in its own desert. The camel groans as it rises, sand cascading from its hump in molten-looking streams. You mimic it, body protesting with every degree of motion. Around you, the caravan reassembles silent, except for the clink of surviving goods. A laugh rasps from your left, the tea vendor from yesterday. His indigo turban now resembles a dyed dust mop. He holds out a cracked cup, its interior blackened by countless brews. Sand's revenge needs no sugar today, yes. You drink the bitter sludge, too exhausted to wonder what animal he bartered for the water. The horizon shimmers, taunting. Somewhere beyond that haze, Molly's green riverbanks wait, or maybe that's just the delirium talking. A sand fox darts past, its paws barely denting the scorched ground. You envy its speed until it collapses mid-stride. The desert reclaims its heat-sapped body before you blink. The caravan master shouts, a hoarse battle cry against the lingering furnace. You shoulder your pack, its straps fused to your salt-crusted tunic. Each step forward sinks in shifting sand, the Sahara's way of saying not yet. Somewhere ahead or behind a drum pulses. Or maybe it's just your blood pounding out the rhythm of the next footfall. The wind starts again, gentler now, whispering secrets in a language baked into your bones. The wind's whisper dies, replaced by the clatter of a loosened saddlebag. A glass sphere rolls from beneath a trader's indigo cloak, catching the sun like stolen daylight. You freeze, half expecting shouts or accusations, but the man trudges onward, oblivious. It glints purer than any desert spring, its blue swirls mirroring that morning's poisoned sky. Your fingers close around it before logic protests. Palm-sized miracles don't belong in this wasteland of sand and barter. Around you, caravanners cough, their throats raw from yesterday's sirocco. No one notices the marble's absence or your guilty hunch. You pocket it, the cool glass seeping through worn fabric. Legends claim medieval traders carried such beads from Egypt's furnaces, trading them for their weight in gold. A camel sneezes, spraying mucus on your calf. The marble's smoothness calms you until memory stirs. Fulani elders once warned children certain glass orbs housed desert jinns. You scoff, yet rotate the sphere to check for trapped smoke. The trader ahead adjusts his cloak, revealing a scarred neck. His hands count salt bricks, unaware he's lighter by one cosmic trinket. Historians still argue whether nobles carried them as status symbols or if they were toys for salt barons' children. Sunlight fractures through the marble, projecting cobalt ripples on your sand-crusted sleeve. For a breath, your arm becomes a river. Wishful thinking, or a jinn's joke, you blink, the illusion dissolves. A sandpiper's shadow zips past, the first life since the storm. It pecks at something shiny, a mica chip, or your conscience. Your grip tightens around the sphere, irony bites here. Even birds crave baubles over bread. The marble warms, nestling into your palm as if home. 8 centuries back, Mansa Musa's envoys would gifted this to a sultan. Now it's yours, a smuggled spark of beauty in the monochrome grind. Ahead, the horizon shivers Timbuktu's minarets. Another mirage. The trader finally notices his loss. He pats his cloak, spins, scans the dunes. You stare at your feet, a sudden scholar of footprints. His curses blend with camel bells, a discordant hymn to human greed. The marble feels heavier, accusatory. Your thumb rubs its surface, too late for repentance. Desert law applies here. What the sands hide, they keep. Night falls, your stolen prize glows faintly under moonlight. Or is that your sleep-starved mind painting fantasies? You roll it between knuckles, clenching when the watchman's torch nears. By dawn, the trader's vanished, likely chasing phantoms westward. The marble becomes yours by attrition, a tiny kingdom gained through silence. You press it to your forehead, cool against the fevered skin. Wind kicks up, the sphere hums against your ear. Myths rise unbidden tales of Saharan sailors navigating by sky ice, held to their eyes. You laugh, a dry rasp. Yet part of you wonders. The caravan halts at a dried oasis. While others dig for hidden wells, you study your prize. Sunlight pierces it, casting a sapphire oval on the sand. Around the spot, scorpions retreat. Coincidence, but you mark the phenomenon. By midday, the marble's your silent confidant. Would traded 3 salt blocks for you, you murmur. It winks in reply, a conspirator in this victimless crime. Or is it? The desert offers no absolution, only the creak of saddle leather, the rasp of grit on teeth. Your fingers trace the sphere's grooves, each rich a mystery. How many hands held this before yours? How many regrets? Sunset bleeds crimson. The marble drinks the light, glows like molten iron. You hide it before envy awakens. Trust fades faster than water here. Even beauty becomes currency or a target. The sphere's weight against your thigh grows familiar, a second heartbeat. Somewhere, a child wails for a lost sky stone. You chew sour dates, pretend not to hear. Stars erupt, sharp enough to pierce the conscience. The marble rests in your bedroll, a cold companion. Historians will never catalog this moment, this tiny theft that weighs like a pyramid. You dream of dunes parting, revealing a million glass spheres. They rise, forming a constellation mirroring the one above. A voice hisses. Every treasure has teeth. Dawn finds you tracing the orb's surface, searching for bite marks. The desert offers no answers. Only another mile, another breath, another secret to bury beneath your ribs. Heat paints your neck raw, the stolen marble a guilty sun against your thigh. A figure materializes from the glare bandages, swallowing their hands and face. You recoil, then freeze. Salt for the cursed, rasps a voice like grinding flint. Their palm extends, crusted white crystals glitter in a leathery nest of wraps. Desert law demands charity, but your water skins half empty. A torn sleeve flutters, revealing skin mottled like weathered parchment. Historians note Sahara traders often gifted salt to outcasts, a nod to its olden role as currency. You hesitate, then pour a trickle into their cupped hands. Instead of drinking, they upturn the water over the salt. Crystals hiss, swell, become a milky paste. Bend, they command. Your knees surrender before your mind consents. Cold grit smears your forehead, the paste leaching sweat. Their thumb drags a spiral, a symbol your grandmother once chalked above doorways. Timbuktu's scribes forgot this ward, but sand remembers. The mixture dries fast, tightening skin like a vice. Bandaged fingers tap your stolen marble through the cloth. Every stolen stone births a phantom yours, wears lion's teeth. You jerk back, half expecting a sermon or theft. They laugh, a sound like shaking pebbles. Curses need no magic, just time and silence. A truth you already knew. Dust swirls between you, forming fleeting shapes. Hourglasses, leashed hounds, a crown. Your burden, they croak, pointing at your hidden marble, outlives the hand that carries it. Camels bawl in the distance. The caravan inches forward without you. The leper shoves a salt lump into your palm, its edges unnaturally smooth. Chew when the whispering starts. You pocket it, another secret added to the collection. Legends claim certain Saharan salt deposits hum when near metal, though scholars dismiss it as wind over weirdly eroded rocks. They retreat into the glare bandages flapping like surrender flags. Your forehead itches, the salt cracks into a fractured map. Wait, you call. What whispering? What phantom? Only the wind answers, lifting the leper's footprints from the dunes. The salt lump warms, vibrating faintly against your ribs. Historians still argue whether North African leper colonies traded coded messages through mineral patterns. Ahead, traders murmur about sand wraiths. You press the salt to your tongue, bitterness jolts your jaw. The marble pulses in time, a twin heartbeat. Coincidence? Obviously. Probably. Shadows lengthen, merging with the guilt squirming in your gut. That spiral on your brow. It's flaking off, taking a layer of skin with it. Small price for a blessing, if that's what it was. Night falls, your campfires, the sole defiance against the dark. The salt lump glows faintly, or maybe your eyes betray you. Someone's child laughs at a hyena's yelp innocence, clinging to the wasteland. You suck the salt, its grit grinding your molars. Taste blooms, rancid honey, visions flicker, a lioness stalking your caravan, her pelt shimmering with glass shards. Nonsense born of exhaustion. The watchman sings off-key, a wedding ballad about a thief who married the moon. Your fingers find the marble, smoother now, almost eager. The leper's words writhe in your skull. Dawn reveals your salt lump halved, though you swore you barely touched it. The marble's surface swirls, blue veins pulse like sluggish rivers. A mirage, must be. Traders swap tailies of a bandaged prophet who cursed a salt mine into gold. Fools, scoffs the lead camel driver, gold's just another chain. You nod, while discreetly spitting salt grit from your teeth. By noon, the dunes shudder, heat waves morphing into liquid amber. The marble burns cold, a paradox, against your blistering neck. That night, the whispers wake you, voices like shifting sand. No moon, no fire, just the salt lump humming against your chest. You rise, drawn toward the void beyond camp. Chew when the whispering starts. Crunch, crunch. The salt dissolves into brine and blood-sharp edges. The voices clarify, ancient dialects chanting numbers. Barley prices, tax percentages, death tolls. Ahead, shadows congeal into a marketplace. Vendors, without faces, coins clinking into baskets of sand. The lioness from your vision pads past, glass mane clinking. A claw brushes your ankle, asleep or bewitched. A trader shakes you awake, his torch reeking of rancid oil. Dawn's first blush tints the east. The salt lump's gone. So's the leper's paste on your brow. Only the marble remains cool and smug in your fist. The caravan marches on oblivious. You've answers to seek in Timbuktu, and a new fear to bury somewhere behind hyena's giggle. Or maybe it's just the wind. The hyena's laugh hangs in the air, a shrill hiccup that murders sleep. You sit bolt upright, sand cascading from your robe. Torches flare awake around camp, their rancid fat smoke stinging your nostrils. Ancient caravans used lion fat candles to ward off predators. Not that it ever worked. Shadows dart at the firelight's edge, hunched shapes with too wide shoulders. A guard hurls a spear. It vanishes into the blackness. No thud of impact. Another chuckle ripples, this time from your left and right, and directly behind your tent. Clusters of 3, barks the lead driver, voice cracking. You fumble for a weapon, finding only your half-empty water skin. The marble pulses in your pocket, cold as a buried coin. A muzzle thrusts into the light, jaws unhinging like a broken crate. Yellow eyes reflect flames, doubling their size. You freeze. The beast's breath reeks of rotted melons and betrayal. A burning brand swings overhead, sparks raining down. Historians still argue whether Saharan nomads ever bred hyenas as guard animals. Trader logs mention dogs that laugh at whips. The beast retreats, but not before nipping your sleeve. Fabric shreds, the sound absurdly loud. Another torch arcs through the dark, this one trailing a comet's tail of embers. For a heartbeat, you swear the flames outline human figures among the hyenas, shoulders wrapped in pelts, postures too upright. The lead driver roars, a guttural mimicry of the beast's own cries. It works. The pack hesitates, crooked ears swiveling like confused satellites. Someone hurls dates at their paws, fruit squelching into the sand. A nervous giggle erupts, this time definitely human. Bandits, you whisper too low for anyone to hear. The theory's preposterous, though 14th century Moroccan texts warn of thieves dressing as jackals to spook traders. The driver catches your eye, shakes his head once sharp. A hyena lunges, this time silent. Its teeth snap shut on a camel's tether rope, fibers parting like gut strings. The freed beast bellows, trampling a water casket in its panic. Salted fish spill, everywhere stink, merging with the smoke. You grab a tent peg, ridiculous weapon, but it's heavy, solid. The marble slips from your pocket, rolling toward the shadows. You dive, fingers closing around cold glass as jaws snap where your ankle just was. Someone screams raw and high. A guard stumbles past, his spear trailing hyena saliva. Your thumb finds the spiral scar on your brow, flaking salt still embedded in the cracks. The leper's advice hisses through your mind. You fumble the salt lump from your sash, crunch it between molars. Pain explodes, bitterness worse than burned coffee. Vision blurs. The campfire splits into twins, then quadruplets. Hyenas flicker in the gaps, translucent as smoke. One pauses, head cocked at you. For half a breath, it wears a bronze collar etched with Carthaginian symbols. Then the salt's truth fades, the vision with it. A spear tip jabs earth beside your knee, signaling retreat. To the supply carts, the driver orders, voice bleeding desperation. You crawl, marble clenched in one fist, salt grit sharp on your tongue. Camel dung squishes between your fingers, warm and shamefully comforting. The surviving guards form a half-circle, spears bristling like an iron thicket. Silence. Minutes ooze by, measured in sweat droplets and twitching muscles. Gradually, the giggles fade. When dawn leaks over the dunes, the only tracks are your own, churned into madness. The lead driver prods a pile of dung with his boot. Found their supper, he grunts. But the hyena scat gleams, flecked with mica chips no desert beast could swallow. You say nothing. The marble stays hidden, colder than any stone has a right to be. As the caravan reassembles, a child points east. Look, a doggie's collar. The sun glints off something in the sand, distorted by heat ripples. By the time you reach the spot, it's just another rock. But the salt on your tongue whispers otherwise. The scent hits first, wood smoke and roasting peanuts laced with that peculiar musk of home. You crest the final dune, Molly's mud brick walls glowing amber in the dying light. A donkey brays, its cry identical to the one that followed you 17 weeks ago. Historians still argue whether Timbuktu's libraries held more gold than its vaults. But no one debates the relief of kicking sand from your sandals at this gate. Guards wave you through, their spear tips dulled by boredom. The marble radiates cold against your thigh, uncomfortable souvenir from the hyena's feast. Children swarm, fingers plucking at your salt-crusted robes. Stories, they chant, unaware your tongue still tastes of mica and betrayal. Your house feels smaller, threshold worn smooth by wind-blown grit. Shea butter pots line the entry, one stolen by a cat, judging from the paw prints. The leper's salt lump dissolves in your bathwater, turning it brackish. As you sink into the tub, of servants gossip outside the door. They mention camel births, a stolen cooking pot, no word of hyenas with collars. Nightfall brings a feast you can't eat. Dates stick to your teeth like guilty secrets. A minstrel plucks the ngoni, its notes stretching like shadows. Someone slides beside you, a merchant's daughter you once fancied. Her henna'd hand brushes yours, then recoils at the marble's chill. Cold hands hide colder hearts, she teases, quoting a proverb you now understand too well. Dawn finds you at the goldsmith's, pouch spilling dust onto his scales. His frown says everything. Molly's markets now value gossip over grams. You trade sunlight caught in metal for papyrus and ink, secret rebellion against reason. The well-watcher corners you at noon, his breath reeking of fermented millet. They found a hyena carcass, east gates, wore this. He dangles a bronze collar, incised with symbols matching your marble spiral. You shrug, heartbeat loud as a sandal slap on stone. North trader's nonsense, you mutter, almost believing it. By week's end, you're lecturing apprentices on desert routes. Their eyes glaze at warnings of singing sands, light up at tales of hidden oases. One boy asks about the marble, its unnatural coolness seeping through your pocket. You lie, claim it's Venetian glass from a secret trade. Moonless nights haunt worst. You wander rooftop gardens, tracing constellations that once guided you. The marble glows faintly, or maybe it's sleep deprivation. Scholars remain baffled by ancient Malian metalsmiths who allegedly forged gold colder than shadow. A jackal howls, triggering whispers among the night guards. You don't flinch, hyena laughs, having ruined lesser fears. Market day drops its own revelation, a Tuareg trader offering cobalt beads. His left earlobe bears a spiral scar twin to yours. When your eyes meet, he vanishes into the indigo-dyed crowd. The marble burns icy for hours. Despite desert heat, you take to walking the walls at twilight, a sentry against nothing. Villagers joke you're moonstruck, but their laughter dies when they see your eyes. Gold's weightlessness confounds, pouches emptying, though none recall their spending. Nights blur, filled with ledgers where numbers melt like wax. The final stroke comes with the rainy season's first storm. Lightning forks the sky, illuminating 3 hyenas at the western dunes. Their leader turns, collar flashing despite the dark. Rain washes salt from your hair, mingling with unexpected tears. By morning, the gold's gone, the marble too. In their place, a single papyrus scrap bearing Carthaginian glyphs. The well-watcher finds you laughing, sound eerily familiar. They're just old goat maps, he grumbles. unaware your empty hands now hold entire empires. Camels groan in their pens, restless for roads not yet walked. You smell it on the wind as sharp as a scorpion kiss. The Sahara's whisper drowns the city's chatter. One word stretched across 1,000 miles. Again. Dawn licks the eastern dunes, honey gold bleeding into burnt umber. Camels huff behind you, their saddles already crusted with fresh salt. That scrap of papyrus crackles in your sash, Carthaginian glyphs, itching like unhealed blisters. Historians still argue whether desert traders used encoded star maps, but none dispute the madness of restarting this dance. Your big toe, still missing a nail from the hyena incident, prods the sand. A merchant's child runs past, trailing the sour-sweet stink of fermented baobab pulp. They say Mansa Musa's Hajj flooded Cairo with so much gold it crashed markets for a decade. A fact that becomes funnier each time your purse lightens. The well watcher materializes, sweat staining his indigo turban. Take this. He thrusts forward a leather flask swollen with something viscous. Lion fat, he explains, face solemn as a salt flat. Rub it on your eyelids when the sand demons come. You pocket it, fully aware real lion fat smells worse than a 3-day corpse. Midday sun transforms your shadow into a puddle. The marble's absence gnaws, phantom chill lingering where it once pressed against your hip. Scholars remain baffled by 9th century Saharan ice temples described in Timbuktu manuscripts, structures allegedly cooler than mountain caves. You trade a sack of gold to see one scholar's face during a real sandstorm. Rations include a new addition, dried perch from the Niger. It crunches like insect shells between your molars. A camel driver chuckles at your grimace. You want flavor? He offers a clay jar. Inside squirm live termites, their mandibles clicking against the glaze. Eat 10 makes honey taste like ash afterwards. You decline twice. Stars emerge timidly, Orion's belt half buried in horizon haze. Your fire pit mimics the hearth you left behind, if that hearth spat embers like a spiteful lover. The papyrus seems heavier tonight, glyphs swirling if you stare too long. A desert hedgehog scuttles past, trailing the powdery stink of crushed mummy wrappings. You let it nibble your dates, payment for not being a scorpion. Sleep comes in chunks between jackal serenades. Dawn's second wind brings a familiar itch between your shoulder blades, the Sahara's calling card. You press the lion fat to your nostrils, gag, and toss it into a dune's embrace. The well watcher will ask no questions. 3 vultures circle something northeast, probably not a party. Your map claims this route boasts an 8th century rest stop, though rest likely meant dysentery and bad decisions. A sand fox dashes across your path, its coat the exact russet of that merchant's daughter's hair. Coincidence? Absolutely. Annoying, deeply. The papyrus finally speaks at moonrise. Carthaginian symbols resolve under starlight, a zigzag mirroring the Niger's ancient bends. Your finger trembles tracing it, nail still ragged from the marble's theft. Historians whisper of Roman coins found deep in the desert. But you'd wager good salt they never held a map that hums. Campfire gossip reveals two truths. The hyena pack's been spotted west, and someone's brewing date wine strong enough to melt lead. You sip cautiously, taste betrayal, and poor life choices. A drover shows off a scar matching your spiral mark. Got this bartering with blue men north of Agadez, he boasts. You nod, knowing full well that's where your collar hyena originated. Noon melts into a mercury sea, heat devils dancing on salt pans. Your water skin sags, last sip warm as camel breath. The map insists a well hides here, but all you find is a cracked amphora sprouting scorpion grass. Legend claims desert saints could pull water from quartz, a skill you'd stab for right now. Sudden shade makes you flinch a cloud. Unlikely. It's a vulture, wings wide as a royal palanquin. You bare teeth it could crack like ivory. It tilts its head, unimpressed, then glides toward those circling kin. Dinner's served, and you're not the main course. Small mercies. Dusk brings the first singing dune, a low C sharp that vibrates your molars. Guides tie scarves over their ears, too late. The sound lodges in your skull. A mosquito swarm of unanswered questions. That merchant's daughter once laughed at your tone-deaf drumming. She'd adore this cacophony. Midnight unearths cold facts. Your new sandals already sprout holes. The termite jar's gone suspiciously quiet, and the papyrus now glows faintly green. You bury it, dig it up, bury it deeper. Some mysteries deserve to stay underground. By third sunrise, the hyenas find you. 5 this time, collars glinting despite the dust. Their leader carries something metallic in its jaws, but the glare hides details. You palm the dagger from Timbuktu, steel tasting of borrowed courage. They pivot as one, retreating into light too sharp for human eyes. The horizon blurs not from heat. Your eyes leak traitorous salt, or maybe it's the lion fat's revenge. Either way, the desert drinks it greedily. Camels bray, impatient for destinies less complicated. You check the papyrus one final time. Glyphs now loop into a perfect spiral, matching scars, collars, and every bad decision since Molly's gates. Wind snatches the map skyward, but its song stays rooted in your bones. Sand shifts beneath your soles, announcing the next step before your mind consents. Somewhere ahead, Roman coins sleep under dunes. Somewhere behind, a hyena pack guards your discarded childhood. You adjust your headscarf, tasting the familiar bitterness of unanswerable questions. The Sahara exhales its breath heavy with promises and corpse dust. You inhale both and take the first step into a story already etched on your skin. Somewhere, a marble rolls across phantom sands, cold as forgotten kingdoms. Camels groan, wind whispers, scars throb, and the dunes breathe, begin. The last ember fizzles, swallowed by sand colder than forgotten tombs. Your blistered hands uncurl, releasing questions too heavy for moonlight. Across the dunes, hyena laughter fades into a harmony of shifting gravel. Stars press closer now, their silver seeping into your salt-crusted hair. The lion fat jar lies empty, its stench replaced by night-blooming Acacia flowers. You count 14 petals, each trembling like a smuggler's lie. Sand wraps your ankles, gentler than the merchant's daughter's stolen embrace. That papyrus spiral glows faintly beneath your shirt, a lullaby humming through your ribs. Camels sigh as dreams pull them toward oasis mirages. Wind smooths your footprints, erasing today's missteps with practiced ease. Even the vultures sleep, their wings folded like unread letters. You sip air thick with memories of mango rains, sweet enough to blunt the Sahara's teeth. Your toe finds cool earth where the marble once burned. Historians argue, nomads chuckle, scorpions ignore the debates entirely. A hedgehog curls against your ankle, its warmth softer than Timbuktu silk. Dawn lingers beyond the horizon, holding its breath. The map's song dims to a whisper, no longer clawing at your skull. Color hyena scars fade to pale constellations inking, survived in a dead queen's tongue. You close eyes still gritty with yesterday's storm. The desert hums its oldest lullaby. Sand settles, stars blur, breath sinks with ancient rhythms, and somewhere a child's laughter rides the wind light as a dandelion seed. Sleep comes not as surrender, but a truce. Camels grunt approval, scars soften, the dunes breathe begin, over and over, and